The desert night has a way of swallowing sound. The stars hang low over the Iranian plateau, their pale light spilling across a landscape that seems more dream than earth. The wind moves like a whisper, brushing over hills of stone and sand, carrying with it the scent of dust and memory. And there, rising out of the plain like a vision, are the remains of Persepolis, the once great ceremonial heart of the Achaemenid Empire. Even in ruin, it feels impossible. Great staircases climb to nowhere. Columns soar upward, their fluted shafts topped with the weathered shapes of bulls and lions. Massive stone doorways frame nothing but the horizon. It is as though the bones of a vanished giant lie exposed under the open sky. Persepolis. To speak its name is to summon an image of power, ambition, and mystery. Built over 2,500 years ago by Darius the Great and expanded by his son Xerxes, this was not just a city, it was a statement. A statement carved into the very rock of the earth, meant to endure for eternity. And for a while, it did. To understand it, we have to go back to around 518 BC, when the Achaemenid Empire stretched like a golden tapestry across much of the known world. From the Indus Valley in the east to the shores of the Aegean Sea in the west, it was a realm that bound together peoples of different languages, faiths, and customs. Darius wanted a place that would stand as the beating ceremonial heart of this empire. A place to receive tribute from kings, to awe visiting dignitaries, and to remind all who came that the Achaemenids ruled by divine right. Persepolis was built on a massive stone terrace at the foot of the Ku-e-Rahmat, the Mountain of Mercy. The site was carefully chosen, perhaps for its symbolism, perhaps for its commanding view over the Marv-dashed plain. Workers from across the empire, Babylonians, Egyptians, Medes, and more, brought their skills here. They cut massive blocks of stone, hauled cedar beams from Lebanon, carved intricate reliefs into staircases that even now seem to ripple with life. Imagine walking up the grand staircase of the Apadana, the audience hall of Darius. The air smells faintly of cedar and incense. Each step is wide and shallow, designed so that nobles could ascend without breaking the smooth sweep of their ceremonial robes. To your left and right, carved into the stone, lines of figures approach. Envoys from every corner of the empire, each in their own native dress, bearing gifts. Fine horses, exotic animals, bolts of cloth, vessels of gold. They are frozen in time, yet their faces are so detailed you can almost see them blink. And then, the Apadana itself. Its roof, now long gone, once soared on 72 towering columns, each capped with a double-headed bull or lion, symbols of strength and vigilance. This was where the great king would receive his guests, seated on a throne of gold, the sun spilling through openings in the roof, the air thick with the sound of music and the murmur of many tongues. Persepolis was not meant to be an everyday capital like Susa or Ecbatana. It was a stage, a sacred theatre of power. It came alive during the New Year festival, Nowruz, when representatives of the empire gathered to reaffirm their loyalty. It was here that the empire's unity was not just declared, but performed in a pageant of ceremony, feasting, and ritual. But even as it rose to glory, Persepolis carried the seeds of its own fragility. For all its grandeur, it was dependent on the stability of the empire it symbolized. And history, as always, would not be kind forever. In 330 BC, Alexander of Macedon, the man we call Alexander the Great, swept into Persia. His armies defeated Darius III, the last Achaemenid king. And when Alexander entered Persepolis, he saw more than just a city. He saw the heart of the empire he had conquered. What happened next remains a subject of debate, wrapped in both fact and legend. Some say Alexander burned Persepolis deliberately, as an act of revenge for the Persian sack of Athens a century and a half earlier. Others believe it was a drunken impulse sparked by a night of revelry in the palace, possibly at the urging of his companions. Still others think it may have been a calculated political move, a way to signal to the Greek world that Persia's power was truly broken. Whatever the reason, fire consumed the city. The cedar beams that had held the roofs collapsed in showers of sparks. The treasures of Persepolis melted into molten gold and silver, flowing like rivers across the stone floors. And when the flames died, the city was a ruin. The wind and the sand did the rest. For centuries, Persepolis lay buried and forgotten. Locals called it Takht-e-Jamshid, the throne of Jamshid, believing it to be the work of the legendary king of Persian myth. Scholars in the West only began to identify it with the Achaemenids in the 17th century, when travelers like Jean Chardin marveled at its scale and the strange wedge-shaped writing carved into its stones. Those inscriptions, cuneiform, in 3 languages, would later prove to be the key to unlocking not only the history of Persepolis, but much of the ancient Near East. They tell of Darius's pride in his creation, his claim that the city was built with the help of Ahura Mazda, the supreme god of Zoroastrianism. They speak of the unity of the empire, the diversity of its peoples, the justice of its laws, and yet, for all we know, so much remains shrouded in mystery. Archaeologists have uncovered storerooms filled with clay tablets, the Persepolis fortification tablets, that detail the daily workings of the city, rations for workers, shipments of goods, religious offerings. But there are still vast areas unexcavated, still questions about the layout, the full extent of its structures, and the details of its rituals. There's also the enduring question of intent. Persepolis was not on a major trade route, not in the most strategic location. It was ceremonial, but why here? And why in such monumental form? Was it meant to be a spiritual axis of the empire, a kind of earthly reflection of the heavens? Some scholars see astronomical alignments in the way certain structures are positioned. Others suggest it was deliberately isolated, a place removed from the everyday politics of governance, designed to elevate the act of kingship into something divine. And perhaps most intriguing, why did Alexander burn it? Was it truly an act of petty vengeance, or was it a symbolic killing of the Persian world so that his own vision of empire could rise in its place? Today, Persepolis stands as both ruin and revelation. The sun still rises over its columns. The shadows still creep across its terraces as the day wanes. The wind carries the same scent of dust that the envoys of Babylon, India, and Egypt would have smelled as they approached. Stand there long enough, and you might almost hear it. The echo of sandals on stone, the distant ring of a hammer on a chisel, the low murmur of voices speaking in languages now long dead. And you can't help but feel that Persepolis is trying to tell you something, not in words, but in presence. It's a reminder that all empires, no matter how vast, are mortal. That even the most powerful kings can only build in the sand of time. But it's also a reminder of what human beings are capable of. The ability to dream something into existence so beautiful and so audacious that it can still inspire awe thousands of years later. Thank you for walking these ancient stones with me tonight. What do you think drove Alexander to destroy Persepolis? Vengeance, ambition, or something more? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, please like, comment, and share. It truly helps keep these stories alive.